Orpheus and Eurydice. In ancient Greece, there lived a musician named Orpheus. Orpheus played the lyre, an instrument like a small harp. Orpheus played so beautifully that the birds themselves, when they heard his music, would come down and rest on his shoulders to listen. And the rocks on the ground would move closer to Orpheus when he played. And when Orpheus played, the trees would rip their roots out of the ground and dance to the music of Orpheus's lyre. And because of his beautiful music, everyone in Greece loved Orpheus. And one woman loved him most of all, and her name was Eurydice. But on the day that she and Orpheus were to be married, Eurydice was dancing through the fields and thinking how beautiful the wedding would be when suddenly a poisonous snake came out of the grasses and bit her on the heel, and Eurydice died of the wound. And the soul of Eurydice went to the underworld, the place that the ancient Greeks believed the souls of dead people went after they died. And Orpheus was so sad. He'd never felt such sadness before. And he had an idea. My music is so beautiful, everyone loves it. Maybe the people of the underworld, the rulers there, will love it too. Maybe if they hear me play the lyre, they'll let Eurydice come back with me to the land of the living. And so Orpheus searched the world until he found the entrance that led to the underworld. And shouldering his lyre, he went down the many steps that went down, down, down to the river Styx that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead. And in a boat on the edge of the river Styx, there was a man named Charon. And the job of Charon was to ferry people across from the land of the living to the land of the dead. And Charon had a dog named Cerberus. And Cerberus had 3 heads. And one of the heads was always awake. The 3 heads never went to sleep at the same time. And Orpheus took out his lyre and began to play. And for the first time in his life, all 3 heads of Charon's dog fell asleep in Orpheus's lap. And Charon said, "Say no more, Orpheus. I know why you're here. I'll take you across." And Orpheus got into the boat and went across the river Styx to the underworld. And on the opposite shore of the river Styx, Orpheus met the Furies, the monsters who tortured the souls of the people who had been bad when they were alive. And the Furies said, "Orpheus, Orpheus, what beautiful music you play on your lyre. Stay down here, Orpheus. Stay down here and play your beautiful music for us, Orpheus." And Orpheus said, "No, I am here to win back the soul of my beloved, Eurydice. I may not stay." And Orpheus walked on. Then Orpheus passed by the souls of the people who lived in the underworld, the people who had died. "Orpheus, Orpheus," they said, "we've never heard such beautiful music before. Stay here in the underworld with us. Make us happy, make us happy. Play your beautiful music for us." "No," said Orpheus. "I am here to find my beloved Eurydice. I may not stay." And then Orpheus entered the great hall of the rulers of the underworld, Hades and Persephone, the king and the queen of that realm. "What are you doing here?" said Hades. Orpheus said, "I am here to bring back my beloved Eurydice." And before Hades could answer no, Orpheus took out his lyre and began to play, and Persephone, the queen of the underworld, who had a face set like ice and who never smiled, began to turn up the corners of her mouth in a smile. And she tapped Hades on the shoulder and said, "Oh, let Eurydice go. Let her go back to the world of the living with Orpheus." And Hades nodded his head, yes. And the Furies surrounded Orpheus and bound his eyes with a bandage. "Now, Orpheus," they said, "don't take off the bandage until you and Eurydice are completely out of the underworld. Remember what we said. Don't look back at Eurydice. Don't look back until you have rejoined the world of the living, until you are out in the open air. Did you hear what we said, Orpheus? Don't look back. Don't look back." Then, after they had bound Orpheus's eyes, they brought out Eurydice from in back of Hades' throne. And Orpheus walked to the edge of the river Styx, playing his lyre all the time. And he got into Charon's boat, and Charon ferried Orpheus to the other side of the Styx. The chorus of Furies all the while echoing in his ears, "Don't look back. Don't look back." Orpheus and Eurydice then began to go up the stairs that led from the underworld to the world of the living. And Orpheus stopped at the top of the first flight of stairs, and he said, "Oh, now I remember. Now I remember how beautiful Eurydice was when she was alive. I wonder, is she still as beautiful? Oh, no, I can't look back now. I'll keep walking." And Orpheus walked on. And then he came to the top of the second flight of steps, and he said, "Oh, now I remember. The beautiful gown that Eurydice wore when she was alive. She could wear rags and it would be beautiful. Is it still the same, I wonder? Is it still the same? Oh, no, I can't look back now. I'll walk on." And that's what Orpheus did, until he came to the top of the third flight of steps. And you could just see the opening of the underworld many feet away. You could see the light from the world of the living. And Orpheus stopped and he said, "Oh, the beautiful flowers that Eurydice always wore in her hair, are they still there? And anyway, how do I know Eurydice is still there? How do I know all those people in the underworld weren't lying to me? Maybe they didn't let her go. Maybe I need to go back and get her for real." And Orpheus forgot his promise, and he turned his head, and he took off the bandage, and he saw Eurydice. And Eurydice said, "Oh, Orpheus, why did you do that? Now I have to go back to the underworld forever and ever and ever. Goodbye, Orpheus. I love you." And she slowly faded from his sight. And Orpheus hung his head, and walked through the entrance from the underworld and went back to the world of the living. And what did he have to live for now? And from that day forward, the strings of Orpheus's lyre played only the saddest music. And when Orpheus died, Apollo, the god of music, took his lyre and raised it up and placed it in the sky, and we know it today as the constellation Lyra. And then Orpheus's soul went down to the underworld, and he joined his beloved Eurydice. And there was a special place in the underworld called the Elysian Fields, where the sun shone always, and where it was always summer. And Orpheus walks with Eurydice there. They're together forever. Sometimes Orpheus walks beside, sometimes behind, sometimes ahead of Eurydice, and he need never fear to look back.